Hello and a warm welcome to the Assen circuit in the Netherlands, the north part of Holland, where you join us on a rather blustery and somewhat cold early evening for the first race of the weekend, which of course is the Superstock 600 European Championship from Assen in the Netherlands. It's round 2 of the championship. We got underway at Imola a couple of weeks ago, and it looks as though we're in for another cracking season. The youngsters on the ladder to success in World Superbikes, their chance to show what they've got in terms of future potential. We had some great racing all through last year, and I'm glad to say that the champion, Jed Metcher, and the runner-up have gone on to bigger and better. That's the idea of this championship, and we're also looking to see how the young Dutchman Van der Mark will go on as he rises through the field. And like I said, these are the youngsters getting their first real taste of a world championship. This, of course, the European Championship, but they are mixing it with the very best in the world as we head to Monza next and then Misano. 10 rounds in all, and it will finish along with the World Superbikes at Magny-Cours. They don't go to the States or to Moscow. Moscow, of course, new to the calendar in World Superbike terms. Jonathan Green and Steve Martin bringing you the action from the Superstock 600 Championship. And obviously, one of the favourites, winner of this race last year, Van der Mark on a Honda, racing for 10 Carter. Last year, Lanús finished second place and Metcher was third. Will it be a similar result for Van der Mark this year, I wonder? As we take a look at the SBK Alfa Romeo Giulietta. You're driving an Alfa Romeo at the moment, aren't you, Steve?
I am. I couldn't afford a Giulietta. I've got a Mito, a hire car, and I've got to say it's a wonderful little car.
Good. What about the track? Is it a wonderful little track?
It is a wonderful little track. Used to be a big track. They've cut it down. It's 4.5 kilometres in length. As you can see, it's quite cool out there at the moment, 10 degrees Celsius. So it's going to be a cold 12 laps for these guys out there today. But I'm sure we're going to see some very, very hot racing, because this track, if it does produce one thing, that is very, very close racing.
Well, conditions are set fair. I don't think, as you can see, there's cloud in the sky, but I don't think it's going to rain again today. It's been raining on and off for the last 2 days. Russo was the winner of the first round on the Yamaha. In fact, Yamaha won 2 with Calero Perez of Spain in second place, and then Van der Mark on that Honda in third position. That's how they stand at the moment.
Van der Mark normally has a bit of an advantage here. This is his home circuit, so it'll be interesting to see the winner of the race last year, what he can do from the front row of the grid. Time's a little bit slower than last year. Last year he did a 40.9 in qualifying and 42.0 this year. Of course, that can be put down to the track conditions.
Which, let's describe those. Obviously, it's drier now, but it's been variable throughout the weekend, hasn't it?
It certainly has. I don't think we've had one session start and finish in the same condition. It's either been wet at the start and dry at the finish, or vice versa. This young man, Chessau, coming back from Super Sport, the Swiss.
Bastien from Lausanne.
Yeah, he's definitely made a good move, put himself on pole position here, and I think it's going to be a good race for him to be able to show what he can do. Not very often we get a Swissman near the front of the field, but today's the day that he could probably get that win.
De Veltz, the Belgian, second year in this championship.
He's always been a front runner, has De Veltz.
I seem to remember it was a good race here last year with him.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's had some good results throughout his time. Didn't fare so well down in Imola. Finished 8th. But he's made amends for that, puts himself second on the grid here, and I'm looking forward to seeing a dice between those front runners today.
And with no major track in Belgium, this is effectively his home race as well.
Pretty much. I mean, it's not far from here to the Belgian border, a few hundred kilometres by car.
Now, this very much is a local race for this man.
A lot of pressure on him, though. A lot of pressure on him.
Doesn't look like it, does it?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, he's still a young lad, isn't he? But there's a lot of pressure on Van der Mark. to try and get the win, replicate the win that he got last year. Obviously, he wants to follow in the footsteps of guys like Florian Marino. He went from here a couple of years ago to Supersport, and then on to the British Championship this year. So, Van der Mark, a lot of work to do, but if one thing's for sure, that Honda, if it's going to work anywhere, a 10-carter Honda, it's going to work here in Holland.
He's from Gouda.
Do they make cheese there?
They do.
Really?
A very good cheese, too. The Spanish make great wine, too, and Calero Perez.
That's not the only good thing that they make in Spain.
That's not just straight true. Make good football teams, too.
Good football teams, and also good little riders. And Carlo Perez has been impressing me now. I've been watching him for a couple of years. Looks a little bit more serious than the young Van der Mark we saw a while ago, but that's because he's got the work to do.
Yeah, got a good result at Imola, and he'll want to follow that up here at Assen.
Yeah, he got second down in Imola behind Russo, and Russo, who leads the championship at the moment, couldn't do better than qualify on the second row of the grid. We'll get to him in a minute.
Alex Schacht of Denmark.
This could feasibly be his home track as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose you could argue, yeah. Denmark, not that far.
Not too many tracks up that way. But Alex Schacht, good race down in Imola, finished fifth. Sorry, fifth in qualifying.
Do you get a little bit nervous if you were down there now and worried about the temperature? Because obviously you need temperature in your tyres for them to be optimal, and at this sort of temperature it's hard to keep temperature in the tyres.
Well, these guys still have the tyre warmers on their machines at the moment, and these Pirellis, they do work good in these cooler conditions, so I don't think we're going to see, if you think back a few years, or different tyre brands or whatever, people get worried about that cold tyre high side or lose the front because the tyres are cold. The way the Pirellis are built, they work very good from a cold tyre, which is one good reason why they're so good for the road, because as soon as you drive out of your driveway, you've got that grip. So,
you need some zebra tyre warmers like that we just saw then.
The zebra tyre warmers, there go the Giuliettas.
Neck and neck into the first corner. Who's going to break first, we wonder?
Inside.
Yeah, I think the inside man's got it. Oh, and round the outside. Superb overtaking there by the Giulietta. Tessels now. We spoke to Barry Veneman this morning about this young man.
Yeah, what did he say? He said that he was definitely a guy to watch for the future. And is he actually teaching Tessels?
Yes, he is. And Barry's, of course, Barry Veneman, an accomplished rider both in superbike, supersport, and endurance for many years. There's those warmers again.
You like those?
I do like those. But I see a little bit of drizzle as well out there. That's going to be a worry.
Well, it is going to be a worry for these guys. 12 laps will be a long way. He's only 17 years old, is Tesla, so he's got a long future in front of him.
Well, Barry's effectively running the academy here in the Netherlands. There he is, in fact, in that orange jacket, just coming off the grid.
Yeah, that's Barry, isn't it? Barry Veneman's speed school, I guess you'd call it. I don't know, but
and we spoke to him this morning at breakfast, and I said, "Come on, then, who's the next Barry Veneman? Who's the next guy to watch?" And he said, "Tessels."
Well, we'll keep an eye on him.
He said he
today.
listens, he improves his time every time, and there is your championship leader, Team Italia.
Qualified 8th.
Talking of academies, this is the Young Italian Academy for young riders, Team Italia.
Yep.
And that's a national federation or a national kind of...
Yeah, it's like the national licensing agency, like the ACU in Australia, or whatever country you come from. The governing body have put some of their own money in, give these young guys a chance. It's happening in Italy. It's now happening in Holland. It's really good news to see.
Gamarino on the Kawasaki.
First Kawasaki on the grid. Good to see Gamarino up there.
Another young Team Go 11 Italian.
Finished 9th down in Imola. Did Christian Gamarino from Italy. It's not a bad job to qualify where he has on the grid in 9th position. Be interesting to see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm hoping that De Welts can turn his qualifying into a result. He's 10th in the championship at the moment. It's early days, only one round done. Vitali. We
do seem to talk about De Welts a lot.
Well, he's always in the top 5 or thereabouts.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. But I mean, a guy like Vitali could be a spoiler in this.
And remember, when you think about this, when you look back at who's come through this championship, Canepa, currently in World Superbikes, has been in MotoGP. Petruzzi, currently in MotoGP. Xavier Simeon, going on to be a Superstock hero as well.
Yeah.
Maxime Berger, currently in World Superbikes for the Effenberg team.
Loris Baz, another one who's currently in Superstock 1000.
Claudio Corti, also going on to bigger and better.
Yeah, Claudio Corti's in Moto 2, so another one. This is a good class. Maybe I might get myself in there, Jonathan.
There you go. Josh Day's moved on to Super Sport, as has Jed Metcher.
Mulhauser, another Swissman.
Yeah, two strong Swiss entries. Jeremy McWilliams just giving a handshake there, and what a guy to have in your corner. Jeremy McWilliams, of course, one of the great riders from Ireland, Northern Ireland, and great to see him as part of this setup. He is looking after the current champion of this series, Jed Metcher, for the Riv Motor team, the Russian motor team in Super Sport. And we saw a lot of this man, Coco, last year. Very impressive, and I think he's definitely one for the future.
Yeah, I mean, he was 15 last year. He's just turned 16, obviously young Italian. The team, Pata by Martini, one to watch for the future. He's only 16 years old.
Yep, Francesco Cocco, so look out for him.
Just keep an eye on Nestrovic. We didn't mention Nestrovic, the young Australian as well. Starts, this is his home team's race. Starts 7th.
Camarino, we did see. Tessels, we saw. Vitale, we saw. Cocco, that we just mentioned. Cavina, also another Dutchman, in 14th position. He's been around for a few years as well. Another young Dutchman, Tunen. Barry said to watch out for him as well. Matt Davis.
Yeah, Matt Davies qualifies way down in the 7th row, but he had a technical problem in the only dry session, so he's going to be a guy to watch, a guy that could come through the field, so we'll keep an eye on his progress, as well as young Snowsill as well, who had a big off yesterday.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we say this is the junior category, and it is, but even Matt Davis has come from an even more junior category.
Yep.
He won the Kawasaki 250 Cup last year. Did Matt Davis, and so he now progresses into here the Supersport European Championship. So yeah, early days, he's right at the back for this one, but learning his way. Steve, as we head around, tell us a little bit more about the circuit and where's good and where's bad.
Well, you've got this complex section. This is the new section of the circuit. It's it's been here from 2007, 2008. Very tight. Good overtaking opportunities into Struben curve there, as you can see, on to the back straight. This is pretty much the old back straight, not the original one, but they did change it back in 2007, 2008. Good slipstreaming up there and good braking into the right-hander off the end of the back straight. You flick in here, little bit of a change in bitumen surface, then hard flick over to the left and around the left-hander.
It's like a massive chicane, isn't it?
It is a big chicane. Plenty of overtaking opportunities there. Still banked right here, the circuit is. You've really got to keep that rolling corner speed up. You can carry more speed at a track like Assen than you might at other tracks because of the nature of the circuit, because of the way you can see there in the background how that circuit is banked. You can carry that extra speed because of the banking.
Yeah, I would have thought it could catch a few people out because that is cambered and banked, whereas some of the other corners are not. The bolt just after it is not.
That's right. Now we wind up and head back to the start-finish. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th gear. This is the fastest part of the circuit, the most enjoyable, and you have to be so precise through here on a proper racing lap. You get on these little 600s, it's full gas all the way down here. It's going to be really interesting to see the slipstreaming duels and the braking into this last chicane. 2nd gear, this last chicane. It's a make or break, last lap, passing corner. Keep an eye on it, trust me, we'll see some action there.
The story so far is only one round old, but Riccardo Russo of Italia won that race ahead of Calero Perez. Both they will be in action again this weekend and at the sharp end. Van der Mark has to be favourite for this race. He lines up 3rd on the grid and he's 3rd in the championship currently after getting that podium last time out. Watch out for Chessot though. It's his first pole position of the year. And also De Veltz, the Belgian, got a good qualifying. Cool conditions for the start of this one, and they've got to be careful in this opening few laps not to push too hard. As we look at Van der Mark's girlfriend, I think. She's certainly part of the team anyway.
keep an eye on De Welts.
Here we go then. 12 laps for the European 600 Superstock Championship. Out go the lights and away they go. Good start from most of the front row. De Welts didn't actually get the best of starts.
Did you see that in mid-pack? And there's Van der Mark straight to the front. Exactly what he needed to do, because it's so important to get a good start here, Jonathan, because as you see, it starts to concertina out. There's not a lot of overtaking opportunities in this first part of the circuit. Into the right-hander they go. There is De Welts.
Somebody going wide.
A few people up the inside. Number 60, that is Van der Mark, Michael Van der Mark, straight out front. Oh, and
he's off.
No, that was Shezau, our pole man, went down, number 8.
After all the hard work of qualifying, the Swiss man is out of time.
Well, everything's still there. He can get going. He's just tipped in, completely his fault. He's clipped the back.
He was, that was it. That's what unsettled him in the first place.
Well, yeah, it unsettled him. And let's just remind everybody that the track has been very damp. Oh, a few more guys off.
Two down.
That might be De Welts. No, it's not. It's number 29. Snowsill. That's Corey Snowsill.
So that's another fall for the Australian. That's his second this weekend. It is Corey Snowsill of Australia, sadly.
He's all right by the look of it, so that's the main thing. Van der Mark, meanwhile, out front.
And the top two starting to pull away. Good start, 12 laps in all. It's a bit of a sprint race.
A gear in the background there.
Yeah, the young Frenchman.
Jeez, he's come well, hasn't he? He's come from 6th position up to 2nd, so he's found a little bit of extra pace. I want to remind everybody that the qualifying positions that we saw aren't necessarily going to be what we see in the race, because they've had a lot of wet conditions, these guys, so everyone's going to be finding their feet a little bit now. A guy like Van der Mark, who's out in front at the moment, lives at this circuit. He knows it. He breathes it every day just about. A guy like him, he'll be able to set the pace, and there goes number 7, Fritz, on the Kawasaki through.
Van der Mark did a 1:48.7 in his first lap, and as you can see, he's starting to pull away at the front.
Yeah, I mean, basically, in my mind, it's although Van der Mark didn't qualify on pole, it's his race to lose, because it's basically his home race. He won it last year. He's got another one down in the background there.
Oh, he's right in the middle of the track. Let's hope he gets out of the way.
Yeah,
good move. I'll tell you what, he's been very smart and very brave there, standing right in the middle of the track. That is very brave and actually pretty darn smart, because he made himself clear, but if he'd have run either way, that's Gamarino. He was he was the top Kawasaki qualifier.
I want to say, Jonathan, I know that we were saying that the track was completely, dry, but I reckon that there's
still some wet patches.
Yeah, definitely some wet patches. And you notice it in a racing situation a lot more than you do in practice, because everybody's well offline, and that's when you hit those wet patches, because you're trying to look for a way past the guy in front. That's where these young guys don't have the experience. And
we go then to the faster part of the circuit, flat out through here, right then left, and then into the last complex and back down to the Gerhard Thiemer Tribune grandstand, I guess, but the corner is named Gerhard Thiemer. Here it is.
Hello, and look who's coming. That's Russo in 4th position there. That's the guy that won in Imola, the guy that leads the championship. Didn't qualify that well, qualified down in 8th, but he's now finds himself on the back of the pack in 4th position. But
it's De Welts in 3rd, who gets the fastest time, a 1:42.7 by the young Belgian in 3rd, chasing the Frenchman Iger, and it's the Dutchman who leads at home. Van der Mark with a 1:43.1, 1:42.7 by De Welts. Good lap. Calero Perez didn't get the best of starts. Having qualified 4th, he's down in 7th. Tessels is going well, another Dutchman in 8th position. Nostrovic of Australia in 9th. Zeeland in 10th position. I think that's another one of the young Dutch riders in 10th position. Schacht down in 12th. Davis is up to 13th, and that's a great start from Matt Davis, given that he started right at the back.
Well, he started in 28th position, so you can count how many people that is he's passed, but he's passed a lot of people in a short period of time. Good to see the other Australian, Nestrovic, up there too, 9th position, as you said. He got a good first lap as well in the 44. Still got a little bit of pace to find, but he's up there. There's Cavina on the 99 machine.
Well, that's Calero Perez coming through on the number 10, yeah.
And
on Tony Kavina, the number 99 in 6.
Kavina is our leading Kawasaki boy out there at the moment. I'll call him a boy.
Well, they are pretty much.
Well, he's only 19 years old.
That's good enough for me.
Van der Mark comes through that left-hander. Very easy to lose the front end right there. You've got no idea, Jonathan, how much stress is on that front end. Back a couple of gears and then hard on the brakes into the last chicane.
De Velt's on the number 52, really looking strong in 3rd place at the moment. Let's see what his lap time is this time. He had the fastest lap time, but Van der Mark responds with a 42.5, some 0.3 quicker than Iger, and now opens the gap to just 0.8, but that's significant in racing terms as we see Calero Perez trying to make up another position at the end of this lap, and he does so. Nice stuff by the Spaniard. Goes a little bit wide, but he's okay.
Lap record set by Jed Metcher last year, 40.9.
Fastest man on the track in 10th position is Schacht, 142.491 last time.
Well, that's an impressive lap time. He's certainly...
Well, it is impressive because he's almost a second quicker than anybody in front of him.
Yeah, well, if he can keep that pace up, he's going to move up, and he needs to as well.
Davis in 14th position now.
Schacht didn't finish in the top 15 at Imola, so he needs the points. 42.4, fastest lap of the race for him. There's Van der Mark.
And you've got to think that Van der Mark is looking at this weekend as being an absolute definite win, or has to, in terms of other places may not be as assured for him, but of all the places he's going to come, he'll want to win here and start building on his championship.
Historically, Jonathan, when you look at this 600 Superstock Championship, tracks that suit the Honda are Assen. I mean,
same in Superbike, isn't it?
Yeah,
and Supersport.
Yeah, I mean, this is the home track of Tenkata. They've got that set up just completely worked out here. Florian Marino won here on this bike. Gino Rea won here on this bike. Last year, Van der Mark won on this bike, and he's in a good position to do it again.
Yeah, it looks like it. De Veltz goes into 2nd place.
Nice dive up the inside there, nice and clean.
So Iger will settle for 3rd for now. Russo is coming, though. Championship leader Ricardo Russo still in 4th place. Calero Perez now moving up to 5th. He's recovering well now, Calero Perez, but he's still under pressure from Vitali.
Yep.
Number 70 diving into turn 1.
Yeah, Vitali's still there.
Here he is.
Up the inside
That's
goes.
the 2nd time he's overtaken on that last corner right there. So he's got that dialed in.
Yeah, which is exactly where you need to be strong at a track like this as well, because, I mean, that counts for everything on the last lap. The finish line's not that far out of that last corner. Out of Struben they come.
I'll tell you what, newsflash for you, Steve. Schacht has done it again, 42.4, another lap record, and Schacht's moving up to 9th position. He's got ahead of Nestorovic now.
Yeah, Nestorovic, as you say, in 10th position, 43.8 from Nestorovic. That was also his fastest lap of the race.
Iger coming back into 2nd place.
Yeah, these two are going to have a race-long battle for sure.
And it's actually playing into the hands of Van der Mark, because as these two battle, he's now got a 2nd of a lead now. And actually Russo is catching this battle we're watching.
Yeah, I mean, this is important for Russo. He's got a pretty handy... He's got a 5-point lead in the championship at the moment over Carlo Perez, so he wants to try and stretch that. He is in front of Carlo Perez at the moment, but if he can get in front of Agia and De Weltz, he'll definitely open that point margin up quite a lot. Kavina still back there in 7th, 5 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, I'm pretty amazed with Schacht. He's going faster than the leader and literally all 8 other men in front of him.
Yeah, well, he qualified in 5th position, and for some reason he's ended up back in 9th. He's obviously been caught up in a melee at the start of the race, and now he's angry. He's got that adrenaline going, and he's fighting his way back. 42.2 this time round for Carlo Perez.
And here he is, our first glimpse of him. He's up to 8th position now, is Schacht.
Yeah.
On the number 59
Look
machine.
At that, what a move.
Nice move.
Very nice. Just nips past Tessels, the man that Barry Veneman said to look out for.
Yep, and as we said, effectively his home race, the Dane, with the Danish flag on the front of his bike there, from Copenhagen. Produced some pretty handy speedway riders to the Danes.
Yeah, they certainly do. Looks like they're turning their hand to road racing now.
Yeah, it looks like it. Well,
look at De Weltz, the way he just tips that bike in there. Oh, there we go. There goes Vitali around the outside. Agia, sorry.
That's Iger, yeah. And that was a mistake there. And as I said before, this is all playing into the hands of Van der Mark, who now has a 1.4 second lead on 2nd place Iger.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, look who's coming. The two guys behind them, Carlo Perez and Vitali, are starting to close that gap down.
And then Shaq's still 8th, and Kavina's now in front of him. So, and the gap between between Kavina and Shaq is not a great deal. It's just 1 second between them. So if Shaq stays on the kind of pace he's on, he's a second quicker than the man he's chasing.
Yeah, he's done 42.4, 42.4, 42.6, Shaq. So he's the most consistent guy out there at the moment. Apart from the man up front, Van der Mark, who's doing similar sort of times.
Here he is again, just past number 99. He's already got past Tony Kavina.
Yeah.
He is absolutely flying.
He is, isn't he? Hard on the brakes again. I tell you where he's strong. He just really dives into those corners without too much care or worry about losing the front. So he's definitely confident in the front end. He's shacked.
Calero Perez has reacted well. A 41.8. What a lap that was by the Spaniard.
Yeah, you know why? Because, look, he had to catch up. And, look, there he is now, right with Carlo Perez.
So that a new lap record by the Spaniard, 41.8 compared to 42.2 by Van der Mark last time out.
Well, let's say race record. They're still not on the lap record. The lap record still Jed Metcher.
Ah, right, yeah, 140.9 last year.
40.9, but in saying that, Jonathan, you're right, because every lap here is a record, because the track conditions are changing all the time. They're getting faster and faster. There hasn't been a lot of rubber down every lap that these guys do. They're going to put more rubber on the circuit due to the rain conditions that we've had. And also, you were telling me earlier that the other day before the meeting started, they had to wash the track.
Yeah, they did. They had the special truck out that actually put literally waxed down or soaped down the track and cleaned off the track, because there'd been a lot of rubber laid down from touring car races and other racing that's been on here.
You can just see there now the bike racing line, just that cleaner patch of rubber. You can see where they go. That's the amount of bikes going around. That's what they do. It looks clean, but it's actually laying a little bit of rubber down. And that rubber somehow gives the bikes extra grip.
I think the conditions have improved since the start of this race, actually. Whoa, and that was a big move by number 10. Calero Perez risking everything, but getting away with it just as he comes up on Russo. Just waves to him to almost apologise, really, but he's passed him.
Yeah, good move by Carlo Perez.
Here we go, here's another look at it.
Up the inside.
Ambitious, but made it stick.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of this circuit, Jonathan. All the corners are slightly banked, and when you've got a banked corner like that, you can sometimes just dip it in a little bit. But look at Van der Mark now. He's really pulling that gap out. 42.1.
Oh, the welts!
Round the outside, up the inside.
Didn't quite pull that off at Struben. And that's an important corner to get right.
Certainly is.
Iger having a great battle with the Belgian. Frenchman against the Belgian. And the Dutchman continues to lead. Meanwhile, all eyes on the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th.
I tell you who those guys need to be careful of. They need to be careful of Carlo Perez, because the sort of pace that he's running at the moment, he could catch those two guys in front and be the spoiler. I think if Van der Mark doesn't do anything silly, it could be his race. But for sure, Carlo Perez is on a charge to catch up these two guys.
Well, certainly...
Look,
Michael,
up the inside.
Not a lot of room there. Certainly Van der Mark's done enough to break the back of this at 2.4 seconds now, the gap.
Yeah, 42.1 for him last time round. That's a pretty impressive lap pace.
Still not as quick as Calero Perez, 41.8.
No, that's impressive by Carlo Perez. And he's left Russo, the championship leader, in his wake right now.
De Velt's lining himself up for an overtake on the inside, coming up to the last corner. Will he do it? Yes.
Yes, up he goes.
Nicely done.
Oh, he's putting a lot of stress on that front tyre.
So De Velt's makes up position and goes back to second.
Well,
another fastest lap, 42.1 by Van der Mark.
Because look who's coming. Look there. Look
who's
up on the
there.
back.
Calero Perez, is, the Spaniard, will not be denied, and he's done an excellent job in the last few laps, and he's right there now, as you can see on the old blue and white.
Nestrevec still in 10th position. That's good for him. A top 10 finish would be nice.
Tessel's still in 8th position, the Dutchman. Russo, championship leader going into this round, 5th at the moment.
Yes, probably not the result that he was expecting, but